Hello. I'm wondering if you can hear me. I've got my my microphone plugged in here. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, if there's anyone there, anyone comes on, I'll get the microphone out. What it sounds like with the microphone out. See something snapping down there. This is what it's like with the microphone in. I think maybe the microphone in doesn't make me audio. I'm gonna leave the microphone out at this moment. I think that's what it is. Possibly. I've got me the chat there, which I can see at the moment. Excuse me, I've got bad hay fever at the minute. I've got my glasses here in case I can't see what's being said. Tell you what I can do. I can answer a question that was given to me by Jason Brett. Good channel. I'm going to say a link down below. I can't, can I? But go and check Jason out. And the message that he sent me was, on my previous post to say I was going to go live, was, if I can find it. You see I'm prepared for this, can't you? Can you talk about the giallo genre and what is your favorite titles from the genre? Well, giallo genre is to do with sort of Italian crime. It's to do like, I consider it to be like, if you imagine Columbo with gore, like as much amount of gore as you can. That's what I class giallo like. And also, I would like to think that it's a very accessible genre as well. I think you've got a lot of titles in there that do cross over a little bit, and they can be seen by a lot of. I mean, my wife will watch a giallo film, but she won't really watch a slasher film. So that sort of shows you the type of audience that it can get. And I do think that giallo is a great. I didn't know anything about it till my friend John Hall told me about it. I hope you can hear me. Actually, I mean, I'm just wondering if my audio is correct in here. It'd be great if I've done a. I don't mind doing a stream if there's nobody there, but imagine if you do it and nobody can hear a word you're saying. Maybe that may be better. Yeah, it doesn't really tell you if it's on or not, but I can see some kind of. Where is my microphone? I don't even know where my microphone is in here. Wow, really prepared, aren't I? So if anybody's watching this, please sort of drop. Can you? Magpie Movies. Hello, Paul. You all right? Is there any sound coming out of here, or is it just me going? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be great to know if it's actually some sound coming through here. But I can see the chat anyway, so I don't need my glasses, so that's good. Oh, excellent. Yeah, brilliant. That's amazing. I'll tell you what, just before I do that, I'm going to plug my microphone back in and just tell me if the audio goes off. So I plug my microphone in there. Is the audio off now? I would imagine it is, judging by the bottom of there. Like I say, this is probably just a bit of a trial on this whole live thing, especially on the YouTube live thing. So that was my microphone. I don't know. So maybe that's going to be right. Right. Cheers, Harry. Right. Okay. I'm going to leave the microphone out. I'm not going to do that. This is going to work through my computer. Right. So anyway, thank you for everybody who's joined. I do appreciate this. Like I say, I was going to do this the other day, but of course life gets in the way. We went in the garden to do a sort of to get a to build a shed, well, a shed or a storage unit, and that didn't go right at all. So that took up the whole day. I was in there for about 3 or 4 hours because the back panel just didn't work. But anyway, push that to one side. Hello, Keith, Euphoria Pictures. Hello, Harry. Hello, Paul, Magpie Movies. Hello, Jason, Brett. And hello, Andrew Snickers. So, excellent. Thanks for joining me. And so, yes, so getting back to what Jason had asked in the message before, he asked about the giallo collection or the giallo genre. I would say that it's definitely something that started in the early 60s and it continued to the sort of mid 70s. That was it was a sort of boom. And I do think there's a massive amount of great movies in there, from varying from really the best to sort of really bad. You get that in every genre, don't you? So I would say, for me, My favorite is Deep Red by Dario Argento. I can't go past Dario Argento when he does a giallo good. Funny enough, talking about that, he has actually made a film called Giallo, I think, in 2009, and it's one of the worst films he's ever done because it's nothing to do with the giallo genre. It's got to do with the fact that the killer is yellow, because giallo means yellow in Italian. So there you go. So a couple more people have joined. Phil 4K Baker, hello Phil, and hello Geeky Hijinks Reviews. Hello Joe, are you all right? Yeah, boy, just caught this. Hi John, hope you're well, and hi everybody. Film blogger Sam. Hey John, audio and video looking good, excellent. So welcome along to everybody here. There's a lot of familiar names in there, which is brilliant. That's what you want to know. The reason why I'm sort of starting this off, this is my first ever live stream, and the reason why I'm starting off at a sort of strange time is because if I got everything wrong on it, it wouldn't really get seen by too many people. Obviously, it'd probably be available on catch up, or replay. But I didn't want to do it with at a prime time and obviously fail miserably. If I'm going to fail miserably, I may as well do it when nobody can see us, or not that many people can see us live anyway. So yes, so the audio is okay. I mean, I can see the video here. I mean, I'm looking at myself, but obviously my camera's up there, so I don't really want to look up there all the time because I can't look down here. I can't see the chat. So excuse me for not looking exactly. So Harry said it's 9 p.m. down here. Wow. So where are you, Harry? Because that's quite a different time to us. I'm 12 o'clock midday here. Franz Gaming, everything looks okay, buddy. Thanks for that, Franz. Frags. I may have to put my glasses on. Australia. Oh well, that explains it, Harry. Yeah. So it's kind of it's the other way, probably the other way around, isn't it? Wow. So anyway, so giallo, just to finish off Jason's question, giallo for me is an excellent genre, and I would say anything from Dario Argento's giallo period, definitely check out. There's a few other ones. There's loads of brilliant giallos in this Italian classics Italian collection. In fact, there's probably the most giallos in one collection is in this lot. So if you look through them, you'll find out that most of them in there are absolutely brilliant giallos. And if I can turn around, I'll tell you that some of the ones in there that I quite recommend are Cold-Blooded. I can't speak. Claude. Wow. Teeth. Need to put my teeth in. Blade in the Dark, brilliant. Spasmo is brilliant. Bloodstained Shadow is good. Where's the other? I can't even read these. Where's Beyond the Darkness? I love that one, although it's not really giallo. Watch Me When I Kill. Eye of the Hurricane is a brilliant one as well. So yeah, there's some brilliant ones in there. So Geeky Hijinks says, so John, will you be picking up the Jaws 3 Steelbook at all from Zavvi? Didn't know anything about it. A couple of things there. I don't like to deal with Zavvi in any way because I find that they're just absolutely useless in customer service and giving you what you want or cancelling things at the last minute. So try not to go anywhere near that. Plus, as well as the Steelbook, I don't really collect them. But I would like to see Jaws 3 on a 4K. I don't think I'll ever go to 4K. I would love to see Jaws 2 on 4K. Jaws 3 is more like a novelty, and Jaws 4 is just, wow. It's one of them so bad, it's good. Movies, actually, if I'm honest. So, yeah, so I'm just going to flick through this thing here. Just find me bearings if you know, yeah. Excuse me. I never ordered from Zavvi, so it's good information. I'll tell you what. You ask anybody in the community what their feelings are on Zavvi. I think Big Paulie's just sort of dropped off from Zavvi. I know I don't deal with Zavvi for the reasons that it's absolutely you're just taking. I don't think if it works, it's good. If it's bad, and usually it is bad, I don't want to go there and get that experience from them. So for me, ignore Zavvi. Plus, as well, their exclusive steelbooks aren't really exclusive to me. You can find them all over the world in exactly the same form, and probably pay a little bit less for them as well, and maybe get them delivered to you without getting smashed to bits. Hello, Tony, Horror and Todge. Hey, John, great to see you live, mate. Thanks very much, Tony. I appreciate you watching, and great channel. Obviously, there's some great channels in here, and I think everybody would know these channels. But Horror and Todge channel, one of the first channels that I ever watched when I started watching, when I realised that people talk about Blu-rays and horror in general on YouTube. Was Horror and Todge was one of my first was one of the first channels, as well as Horror Hands and Big Paulie and who else? Well, obviously the ones films at home. So I found it dead informational, and obviously the stuff that Tony picks up is absolutely brilliant. Zavi owns Arrow now, right? I don't know, if I'm honest. I know that there's a lot of talk about that's happening, but I don't know if it owns it properly, like the actual physical media side of it, or it just sort of is in partnership with it to, how can I say it, to be a partnership to actually release some of their stuff. I don't know if it actually makes their stuff. I would like to think that I would not like Zavi involved with Arrow, because Arrow for me are a brilliant company. I've loved them ever since I first got me my first ever thing from them, which I would say was City of the Living Dead, which was one of the ones, the white box ones, when I thought, brilliant. So then I thought, excuse me, honestly, my what's it called? Hay fever, crazy. So I think that I lost my stream. Zavi and Arrow, they can work together, but I wouldn't like to see Zavi get involved with Arrow. And funny enough, Arrow have been a little bit crazy with their releases at the minute, and they're with Zavi. What do you think about that? Tony says, hey, John, would be great. Sorry, we'll have to do a live stream together one day, mate. Would love that. Yes, I would love that too, Tony, because like I say, your stuff, your collection stuff is one of the ones where when I'm watching it, I'm always quite in awe of it, because I find that on my shelves, I usually go for Blu-rays or standard size editions. The bigger editions, which I've got a bit over there, I'm just rejigging all these shelves, which I'll probably do a bit of a video on, and taking most of my DVDs out and storing them down in the garage / studio in a sort of container which is used for CDs. And that might make me, well, it means I can get more Blu-rays on here. So the thing I like about Tony's editions that you get is always the ones that I would love to get, but probably can't fit in my collection. I can't show off anyway, because I was lucky enough to get these shelves put into my bedroom. I don't know how I talked my wife into it, but she agreed. And I think I'm sort of stuck with having ones that are like more or less regular size ones. But yeah. But yeah, definitely that would be great, Tony, because like I say, I'm a big fan. I really am. So that would be a great live stream. Yes, it would, Joe. It would be a great live stream, because, like I say, I do think that Tony's, me and Tony are really on the same wavelength when it comes to releases. Usually every ones that he picks up, mind you, there's a lot of the ones that he picks up, that Tony picks up, and I don't know about, but I think, wow, I would love that one. Jason says that is correct. The Hutt Group bought a controlling stake in Arrow. The Hutt Group also owns Zavi. Well, the thing to me is, Jason, that I don't mind somebody going in to be like sort of into partnership with somebody, but I wouldn't like to think that Zavi had too much of an input in Arrow, because I think Arrow have got their game to where they should be. I do think they're getting a bit more mainstream recently, which I think that Arrow for me were better when they were cult. That's why I'm a bit more of a fan of 88 at the minute, because 88 seem to be very cult orientated, which I'm all for. As you know, I'm more into the cult side of movies than I am into sort of regular Hollywood blockbusters, although I do watch them. And I would like to think that Arrow wouldn't lose their identities by doing that, because I think their identity is great. Arrow have got a really good brand, and I think their brand needs to be where it is. It shouldn't be a brand that is sort of influenced by a big company. And I do, like I say, I've got no time for Zavi whatsoever, but it's not like I mean, you can try it yourself if you want to, but personally, I would stay well clear. And I'm not a fan of steelbooks anyway, so it's not a big loss to me, actually, not dealing with Zavi. Keith says, I am trying to get questions in between breaks. So what would be your favorite horror franchise? Well, and it's just over there. It's Friday the 13th. I've been a big fan of Friday the 13th ever since I would think that probably the first one I ever saw was Friday the 13th Part 2. I saw that on release, actually, but it was on a re-release at the cinema. It wasn't the actual 1981 version release. It would have been around about 1983 or 84. I saw it, well, no, 83, because I saw it on a triple bill with Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th Part 2, and Part 3. Can you believe that? And yes, Part 3 was in 3D. Wow, what an experience that was. But yes, Keith, my Friday the 13th is my favorite horror franchise. I've got other favorites, the ones that I do like. I do like Halloween, but I don't like all of Halloween. That's why, even though if it came out in the UK and I could get the whole lot in one go, excuse me, I would get it. But I'm not really a huge fan of the other ones. But I am with Friday the 13th. Every couple of years, I always watch them all the way through and have a good time with all of them. It's a crying shame that Friday the 13th is just dead in the water at the moment, through to people arguing about rights and payments about back money and everything. As it's taken over, that's taken over the whole enjoyment of Friday the 13th, because it just seems to be turned into a soap opera now and not actually anything to do about getting some of these films out. And even the fan films that you see on YouTube are things that should be released. Those should have been things that should have been an actual movie, I think. So I'll go back through these questions just to see I haven't missed any off. So one of the things I do want to do on a forthcoming video, is to talk about my first year on YouTube, which I've enjoyed immensely. And I do urge anybody who's in this chat, or anybody who's going to watch this on catch up, or just anybody in general, if you do want to make yourself a channel, please go ahead. It's so rewarding. It's unreal to think that you can just talk at leisure about anything you want to talk about. You can pick one out of there, or you could pick a genre. You could talk about, I've moved this one over here. Anything you want to talk about, it's up for grabs. I do think that I've never been one to sort of be locked into anything. I can talk about anything I want to, and I think that's amazing. And so please do a channel, and I do want to do this one yearly recap on what I found about the whole process of YouTube, which I found incredibly easy, actually, which I didn't think it would be when I first started. I thought this is going to be not a nightmare, but there's going to be a lot of problems here, but there hasn't been any problems for me. So it's all good. Phil Baker says Friday the 13th, 1 to 8 is being re-released by Paramount in USA next month. Now I'm wondering, is that up there? I think it is. I've got the 1 to 8 box set, and I'm wondering, has that got any the Phil, I'm going to ask you, is that got any of these 4K scans in it? I know they've got 4K scans in the Friday the 13th complete set, but what are they going to be for in the way of like difference? Because I've got the Part 1 to Part 8 up there, which is actually quite brilliant, actually, and I've got that one, so I'm kind of where I should be with Friday the 13th. I've got Camp Crystal Lake Memories as well, which is brilliant and highly recommended. That's the only thing that wasn't in that box set, which I think should have been. So yes, so Phil, if you can tell me a little bit more about that. Oh, it has 4K scans, but no extras from Shout. Fair enough. Yeah, I wonder has it got 4K scans on all of them? That would be quite interesting, actually, because the 4K scans on those ones, the ones that are good, look really nice, I've got to admit. But I can't put them on my 4K player because they're all region locked, and I've got to use them on my multi-region player. If anyone's thinking about getting a multi-region player, go ahead, because I would say there's a good 20% of these movies here that I wouldn't be able to watch if I just had a regular Blu-ray player. Thanks. Geeky Hijinks, Joe says, thanks for introducing me to Criterion, by the way, John. I just picked up It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which is a film I love. Just waiting for Sisters to get that Criterion treatment so I can pick that up. Yeah, Joe, funny enough, I was in the shop looking at them the other day, and I've got a list of maybe say 5 or 6 films that I really want to get on the Criterion label. Off the top of my head, Eaton Raoul is one that I've never seen, but I really want to see. And it's one of these ones where you think, right, it's in Criterion. You know you're going to have to pay a little bit more for it. But I think the thing behind Criterion is that they do probably spend all their money and time on the restoration process. So yeah, you're just getting a Blu-ray and a disc in a case, but you're getting that kind of behind the scenes thing where they've done like the Zenith in restoration sort of ways. Now, to me, that's what you're paying for. I know Criterion are expensive, and I do always try to get them in a sale because I do think they're overpriced. Some of them are priced just ridiculous. But I do think you get value for money if you really want a good title. So they're not, all of them aren't for me, I've got to admit. There's a lot that I wouldn't want because obviously I only like certain types of movies. There's a lot in there that I really would like or want to try. But yeah, so Criterion is a really good label to get into or to use to benefit you. I wouldn't go like Daisuke Beppu, which has got Daisuke Beppu has got this amazing all of the Criterion stuff, which I've watched his videos and I just think they're brilliant. And he's like the man when it comes to that. And I really appreciate him loving all them movies. For me personally, I don't like them all. And he quite rightly says they're not for everybody if you don't really want to buy the whole lot, which would be very expensive. Alex says, what's your favorite Coen Brothers movie? Well, favorite Coen Brothers movie is definitely Raising Arizona. It's brilliant. It's so funny. And you can really see from the early Coen Brothers movies that you can see the big fans with Sam Raimi. And you can see their sort of, the filmmaking is very similar to Sam Raimi. And I do think that, I think most of their stuff, the Coen Brothers films that I've seen, haven't seen too much of the recent stuff. I think they're all brilliant. And I do think that they are very I think they're underrated actually, because when everyone talks about directors and they talk about writers and all that, the Coen Brothers never seems to get mentioned. But when you've seen a Coen Brothers film, when you've seen like Fargo, and you've seen, what's the first one they had out? Blood Simple, which is brilliant. One of the best sort of underrated thrillers ever. I think they're absolutely amazing. So yeah, favorite Coen Brothers movie just is Raising Arizona. Such a funny film. Forgotten World of Movies, you're absolutely right. I've been doing this long, but I massively enjoy making videos and talking about movies. Oh, I have been doing this long. Anyway, yes, so Forgotten World of Movies, yeah, that's it. Just enjoy it. That's the best thing you can do about YouTube, is to enjoy it. If you enjoy it, you're halfway there. Now, I think that when I started, I had a bit of a misconception to think, well, if I get into it and it doesn't work, how will I progress? And I went and I just sort of did the same thing. I've probably done the same thing for a year in essence, and it's worked for me. So just keep on doing it. Why not? And as long as, you know, sort of people are interested, and I get, and I met some great people on here, some very amazing and interesting and sort of knowledgeable people who have put me in the right direction for things that I've been stuck on. And I've had a great time watching the channels. Probably I think I watched people picking up movies for about 3 to 4 years before I really settled in and says, right, this is it, I'm going to jump into it. Never thinking you would. The funny thing is, we talk about this all the time. You never know that there's a community out there. You probably do now if you're watching videos like this and you're talking to people in this community. That's the community out there, like the likes of Tony and Horan Todge. I've watched them for 2 to 3 years before I started up. Had a great time on this channel, and now here he is talking to me. It's just all about equals. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. And so yeah, I do honestly get a channel going. Gig T Wing, right? Do you need more shelving at this point? Well, just as I was talking just about this before, my shelves got full. And then I did start, and I've got 2 bookcases there, which were here, which we're going to sell, we're going to get rid of. They are like antique quite. So they're going to get gone out of the bedroom. Bedroom's going to get remodeled. This is our main bedroom, actually. But the wall's stopping there. And the shelves did get full, but I found some storage space that I use for my old CDs downstairs. So I'm transferring a lot of DVDs from down there. They're going to go down to the garage now. So I've got about 2 free shelves for Blu-rays, and that means I can get everything on there. I'll keep going until I fill up, and what do I do when I fill up? I'll start getting rid of movies that I don't really care for, or I've double dipped a bit. And so the shelves are always, how can I put it? They're always expanding. All the movies expand. I'll never stop collecting. But what I will do every now and again, I'll have a little bit of a mini cull and get rid of ones that are just really, I'm keeping for keeping sake, or ones that I would probably never watch again. I do like to think that most of these on here are ones that I really do want to keep and watch. But there's obviously every collector has ones that can sort of push out of the way. So I will get the specs for you on Instagram. Says Phil 4K Baker. Yep. I mean, Phil's been dropping me some messages actually very recently. He's been giving me some brilliant heads up and stuff. So yeah, thanks Phil. I really appreciate that, mate. Stand in Silence. Hi John, I'm here. Thank you for joining Stand in Silence. We've been talking quite a bit on the YouTube comments actually. That's great. Paul Kelshaw. Hi John from Scotland. I love Scotland actually. To be honest, we've got next week is July the 5th is going to be my 30th. Wow, wedding anniversary, and so we are going to celebrate that. We were going to celebrate that before lockdown, to go to Edinburgh, which is one of our favourite places to go. I've been to Glasgow as well, slightly. I've also been up at Doon Castle, where they shot some of Monty Python's Holy Grail. And so yeah, Paul, we're going to take a trip up to Scotland sometime next week to just for a day, mind. We're not going to stop over at this point, and I'm going to be going to FOP. Definitely, because FOP in Scotland is just, the last time I went there was 2019, and I think I don't know how I got that much money. And I said to my wife, I'm going to take some money in there, and I spent a crazy amount of money, which I'm going to do a video on actually, my best haul in June 2019, which is probably most of the titles are in here. So Alex says, what are you watching this weekend? Well, this weekend, we are at the moment, me and my wife are watching Ash versus Evil Dead, the TV series. We're watching season 3. It's the only one we haven't watched. And we love it, man. I've got to admit, I don't know how my wife got into, well, I'd said to my wife, you've got to watch Evil Dead. And she did, man, but she was petrified. And she doesn't really like horror films. And so we've got into that. So we're going to get through the series 3. I don't know if I'll introduce her to the remake of the Evil Dead. She does love the Evil Dead franchise, so we're definitely watching that. Last night we watched Empire Strikes Back, and so I'm going to make my Star Wars ranking of that, and it's quite interesting to see where the Empire Strikes Back fits in. Wow, I'm getting a lot more when I'm putting it in my mind to say, oh, this is definitely going to be number 1, and then you think it's not number 1, or this is definitely at the bottom. And it doesn't go at the bottom. It's a bit mad, actually. So, and also what TV series I'm watching? Some TV. We're watching the American Office, me and my wife, and we've got to the last episode of the whole complete series. We'll love it. I've seen it before. This is the first. What we did was we watched it all the way through, and then we just watched it all the way through again because it's absolutely brilliant. So, American Office and Ash versus Evil Dead. I might watch another film now. Excuse me. Now, what had happened was I've got a video dropping later on. I've just been doing it, so I can tell you all on here because you're all here. I did got my it's a subscriber mail from Euphoria Pictures, Keith. I didn't know anything about it, and I'm not going to tell you about it. Actually, you'll have to see the video yourself. Of course, I shot it in 2 parts. I shot it, then I went out to town, and I went and got some at the town. That's on the video as well. And then I thought to myself, right, I'll cobble that together and I'll put it out last night. So I was getting in touch with Keith and I said, this is just not working. The bit where I was opening the stuff was massively out of sync. I've managed through a sort of program to get the sync nearly together. But I've explained on the video, which will be going out probably about 6 o'clock at night, that the bit of the unboxing is out of sync, but wait to see what was sent. And it's quite a it's quite it was a bit of an in-joke between me and Keith, but wow. Right. So Co says, I've just discovered Manta Labs Blu-ray editions. Have you got any? Is it just the covers that are different? Now, I've heard of Manta Labs, and I'm not too sure if I've seen. I haven't got any, by the way. I don't know if I've seen them on the channel, which is the Wilsonian Museum, the massive thing from Australia. I think I might have seen it on there, but I don't know. I haven't personally got it. Sometimes I think if it doesn't fit on the shelf, I know I've got a couple of ones that don't. I don't really know if I want to get stuff if it was just a little bit too big. But I like collectible things. I love things that are just a little bit special. But I haven't got any. But I don't know that much about them actually, Co. So I can't give you much information on that. Sorry. Ryan Donnelly. I love a 4K or special edition for 28 days later. Yeah. Now, I've heard that the picture quality on 28 days later is not that good. And I think that's because of the way it was shot. So would it benefit the 4K? Because there's a few films that you think, right, would they even make the 4K jump, or would it expose the sort of filmmaking process? Because I think it was deliberately shot grainy. Not too sure about that. But yeah, special edition of 28 days later with the other one thrown in again, like a good double pack. I'm sure Arrow 88 could really do the Second Sight. Second Sight are really starting to ramp it up, mind. Joe from Geeky Hijinks Reviews agrees with Ryan. That would be amazing if they did. Yes, brilliant. Giggity Wing. I hope I'm saying that right. Thanks for answering the shelves. I'm a retro game collector, and it's always an ongoing involvement there. Of course it is. You'll honestly, the amount of incarnations I've had of shelves over the years, and every single one of them has been not a nightmare, but they've always got full. And they've been, as soon as you fill them up, you think, or you get them on the wall and you think, this is brilliant. And it'd be amazing how quick you can fill them up. These ones here are the best ones I've ever had. It's basically, I mean, you can see that it's the full wall. There's me gap that I'm creating down there. Then Blu-rays and DVDs are now downstairs. So it's 8 foot high by it's 8 foot by 9 foot, I think. 9 foot wide, 8 foot high. You can fit 2,000 on here. That's what I'm going for about me total on here. So it's a brilliant setup for me. Just pick a wall in the house, like a dead wall. I know it's my bedroom, and my wife wouldn't agree with me saying it's a dead wall. But we can sort of just get that thing together, and you can just put it on this wall. And if it was in a room where, because my son, he's next door, but I would imagine that he's going to be flying the coop in the next couple of years. He's 25 at the minute, going for his first jab today as well. So should be all right, man. He's built like that. So I imagine they'll probably break the needle putting it into him. And so maybe in the future, if he does fly the coop, this wall might be situated in there. Now, the best thing about that is not only can it be that wall, I would imagine all the walls in there, even though it would be a guest bedroom, all the walls in there would become Blu-rays. So I'd have this done in, say, three shelves like this in the same room. Wow, can you imagine that? Yeah. So Patrick Clark says, more live streams with Leon? ? Yes, of course. Leon is a great guy. I've always had a good time with Leon. Since I bumped into his channel, he's actually more or less, this must have been the YouTube algorithm that put his stuff towards me, and I thought, wow, this is excellent. I think I followed Leon from more or less like the first couple of weeks. Have a great time with Leon. I think he's an amazing guy. I think he's a genuinely nice guy. So yeah, of course, that would be amazing. Like I say, he's a good lad. I like him a lot. We've got future collaborations coming up as well. He's just a great guy. And yeah, of course, I love that, because his stuff he talks about is stuff that I'm interested in. Like I say, with Tony and Horror in Charge, with Jason Brett, we'll get talking about stuff, and we're very much on the same wavelength, which is what it's all about. At the end of the day, just like two people talking about their passion. So brilliant. Yes, definitely. Stand in Silence says, who's your favourite Ramone? Mine is definitely Johnny. Well, that's a great question, actually. Well, for me, Johnny is my favourite guitar player. I love the fact that he just plays everything on the downstroke and he just does it a million miles an hour. That's the way, and he influenced Doyle from the Misfits, who's another one of my favourite guitarists, for just the fact that they just smashed that guitar to shreds. So, definitely, but I've got a soft spot for Joey. I think Joey had the odds stacked up against him. I think everything was against him, but he was just genuinely just a funny, down-to-earth guy. He had a lot of problems, but got a lot of time for Joey. I've seen Marky play live with the Misfits, and he was a brilliant drummer. It's like a metronome, so fast. But I didn't see him after the gig, unfortunately. I always think as well, I think DD, I think what a shame with DD. I think he was so, with the fact that there's drugs, and like I said, Tommy as well. Tommy was a great sort of funny guy to watch on videos. I've got a lot of time for all of them, actually. I don't think there's any CJ as well. He tried to get them all sort of like to get back together when obviously the thing that does anybody know about the Ramones when the singer Joey and Johnny didn't speak for 18 years. Wow, because Johnny stole his Joey's girlfriend / wife, and they got married, and every sort of day was like Joey's getting kicked in the face off Johnny. So that was, can you imagine that? But I'd say if I had to say somebody, I would have to say Johnny for the guitar playing. Giggity Wings says, do you have Fright Night 2 on the original DVD release? No, I don't actually. I remember seeing Fright Night 2. I do like it actually, but it's one that I just haven't got. I would love to get it. There's a lot of films out there that I would love to have, but just not around, unfortunately. Blu-ray Scott says, hiya, Scott, not Blu-ray Scott, it's Wilson, sorry. I did used to think that your name, Wilson, was Scott, because it's Blu-ray Scott, but you're from Scotland, so there you go. So Wilson says, love your collection, John, very impressive. One of the best in UK. Sending my love to your family, love Wilson, the Blu-ray Scott, yes. Thank you very much, Wilson. He's a great guy. He's got a great channel. Check his channel out, actually. And I wouldn't know about one of the best in the UK, but this stuff here, I've been collecting this for years, and I would love to, if I could have done, kept my VHS, which I sold, and I can't. Well, looking back on it, I did have some good VHS as well. But thanks very much, Wilson. Really appreciate that, mate. Stand in Silence. Fright Night 2 needs a proper release by Arrow or possibly Eureka. I agree with you 1,000,000% on that one. It's kind of just forgotten about. I know it's not as good as Fright Night in my opinion, but I love Fright Night. But Fright Night 2, yeah, it's not a bad film at all. It's got most of the original casting as well, which is equally as good. Phil 4K Baker says there's loads of new 4K horror releases coming from Blue Underground. Yes, Severin, Synapse, Shout, and yet another Demons 4K late in the year. Yes, I know about that. Just on the subject of Zavvi, they're using Amazon to deliver stuff. Well, that might be a positive thing because Amazon are a lot better. I do rate Amazon highly, and I do think 90% of the time I do get to have the fact is, I think we've got a sorting office quite close to us. So what we do is when I press the button sometimes in the morning, it can be delivered at 6 o'clock at night, which is mental. But I'm loving that. It's great to have, especially through lockdown. I used to hammer Amazon, but I don't know, Zavvi, if they can get that together, fair enough. But they need to take a leaf out of Amazon's book, if I'm honest. Stand in Silence. John, did you notice how Blu-rays in 11mm cases actually take up a lot less space than the ones in 14mm? Yes, I do. Now, I'm going to say the 11mm ones, they're the ones that sort of come from the US. And I've got some over here to show you. Of course, where will it be? They'll not be within arm's reach. I think this is I'm going to say that's the 11mm one, this Countess Dracula one. Brilliant film. Have I shown you this before? I probably have. No, that's not that one. What am I looking at? You know, you're looking for a film, you can't see it, it's right in front of your eyes. Anyway, don't look at the back of my head. I've got Ingrid Pitt's autograph. So there you go. So I would say that's the 11mm ones. The 40mm ones will be your standard boxes here. But yeah, to be honest, I would love the UK, because US deal with these ones. Imagine how much extra you could get on these shelves if you didn't have ones like that. Yeah, I do agree that Stand in Silence, they would be amazing to swap over. And a quick note, the Three Amigos is heavily DNR'd. What a shame that was. When I got that, I thought, wow. And you can see it a mile off as well. Love that film. Unfortunately, bit of a bust. Stand in Silence again says, yeah, and Leon also does at least 3 mentions of you in every video he posts. It's just great, because I think it's because really we share such a similar interest. We've got such, that's one of the reasons why I gravitated to his channel, because I looked at it and thought, hang on his shelves. I thought, I like that movie. And I thought, well, I've got. So we've been talking from, yes, but I'll give Leon shout outs as much as I can, because he's a great channel. He's a great kid as well. Really nice, really good friend, actually. Phil 4K Baker says, how do you get to the stuff on the top shelf? Do you call Kevin Peter Hall the Predator, 8 foot? Wow, that's an amazing collection. Well, what I do is I've got a trampoline. No. I'm sitting on a stool here, like a footstool. So what I do is I've got the footstool over there in the corner. So when I want to go to the top shelf, which has got like the 4Ks is the one that I usually go for. The Arrow stuff is Arrow stuff up there. That's the special editions. I don't have that much to do with them, although I'm going to be looking into them a little bit more quite soon. Actually, I would feel like I need to get back to them, but I find myself in this bit quite a lot, which is where the 4Ks are. That's where I've chose to put them. But yeah, I've got this footstool. I had to get it because I did have another one, but it wasn't ready to smash. So I got this one from God knows where, Pound World or something. I think it was £2, but it's brilliant. So I'm sitting on here now. Excuse me. And what will happen is it's not very comfortable, put it that way. I think that's why I'm deciding to make this, if I can, just 1 hour. My son's coming back in anyway because he needs a lift to go to his girlfriend's house, and he's just had his job as well. So that's why I'm just going to make this just like 1 hour. But I'm really pleased about how it's going thus far. It's quite easy. The whole interface is good, and I'm having a good time with it. I'm glad to see all these people coming in at this time of day as well, which is a bit of an odd time of day. But I thought if I didn't do it now, I wouldn't get a chance to do it, and I don't really want it to be it's me talking about, oh, I'm going to go do a live stream that never happened. So that's why I didn't want to let you down, if that's the thing. So Phil Baker says, how do you get the shelves? I talk about that. Phil Baker also says, I have Fright Night 2 from Stinky Tuna. Quality is great. Yeah, I'm quite interested in getting some from Stinky Tuna. I do think that that's probably the worst ever title you could have for anything. You know, some company called Stinky Tuna. It's just unbelievable, but never mind. Yeah, I think I would. I'm just going to drink and get myself a bit dry. So yeah, so my question to you, Phil, is probably if you drop us a thing on Instagram, how do you get stuff from Stinky Tuna? I don't have any problem getting the stuff from them. I know it's a US thing, but there's a few titles I probably would like to get, in Fright Night 2 being one of them. I think the thing is when you're after a title that just will not be released, it makes you think, well, wow, just and you've got to go for the titles that the companies that maybe aren't official. Hip Dude says, Fright Night 2, any good? Well, I would say it's, excuse me, it's not as good as Fright Night, nowhere way as good, but it's still a good movie. I still did enjoy it. Ash Seals says, afternoon, just popped on for a bit while on lunch at work. Thanks very much, Ash. I do appreciate that. And I hope I'm not putting you off your meal. Stinky Tuna, you know what I mean? But yeah, so thanks, Ash. Thanks for dropping in. That's brilliant. You know, the best thing about, and there's a lot of live streams at the minute, best thing about live streams is you can just come on and just watch a little bit. If I do that myself, I don't really tend to catch that many live streams when they're live. I will go back and watch them. Maybe if the 3 or 4 hours, I can get them maybe on a break and I'll watch maybe half an hour and then go back to it. The good thing about YouTube is it didn't used to do this. It'll keep it to where the place where you used to be, so you don't have to go mooching around and try and fast forward where you should be. Phil Baker says it's great quality. Hip Jude says nice. That's brilliant. Nice to know, actually, because nothing worse when you get a movie and you think, wow, that's going to be good, and it's not. That's a big shame, that. I mean, I don't think there's any extras on it. It's only £8. So I thought, I've got the cassette recording of the music off here, believe it or not. And it's just nothing. I don't know why anyone would do DNR, a Blu-ray. This doesn't seem something that they would want. I know Phil Baker's just told us that Terminator 2 is coming out in a remaster, or I've seen it somewhere, and I'm glad to say that they're doing that, because I would love that in 4K, but I would not get the 4K when they look like how they've been smoothed with DNR. Stand in Silence. I know this was a bit off topic, but great answer on the Ramones. Apparently there's other people uncredited putting down guitar parts on the albums. It's mentioned in Johnny's book. Well, I'm surprised at that, actually, because I knew that Johnny was quite a leader of the band, and he didn't like things done in a way that he didn't like them. He was quite regimental in his grip on the band. So I'm surprised that he would let anybody on there. And I do know, and I'm quite sure that when he finished the Ramones, he never touched his guitar ever again. For maybe the 3 or 4 years when they split up, because obviously they all died very soon after the Ramones finished in the early 50s, which is a big shame. Stephen Mole says, what is your opinion on online sellers selling Dad's Blu-rays for over £200? Well, I don't know if it's the Dad's Blu-rays. I bet that the Dads would be sick when they found out, because I would know immediately if anybody sold any of my gear. £200 plus. Well, I don't know. It wouldn't be something that I would like done to me. Tom 180. Hello, Tom. Hello, John. Good luck with your live stream. Thanks very much. It's going all right, actually. I'm quite pleased with how easy it's been, because I thought, I bet this is going to be a nightmare. Obviously, me microphone now. I know that I'm not gonna plug this one in. I'm just going to go with the microphone on here, as long as anyone can hear it. Obviously, I can't tell how it is, but people say it sounds all right. No, thanks for that, Tom. It's when you do something the first time, you think, oh, is this going to be really bad? And is this going to be where you start sitting here, can't think of anything to talk about? But I think you can find that most people who have got collections of anything can talk about things ad nauseum, which is good. Stan, Tom also says, what's your favorite Van Damme film? I would have to say, without a shadow of a doubt, Universal Soldier. I did love the early Van Damme films. Don't really get that much of a joy of his stuff after a certain time, but his early films I thought were really good, and I thought Universal Soldier still goes to date as being a great film. I haven't got that one, actually. I should have picked that yesterday in HMV. Actually, it's on my list. I might get that with the other one that I'm trying to get for 2 to 30 is Total Recall as well. I've got the Blu-ray of it, and I keep meaning to check the Blu-ray out and say, what's the Blu-ray like? Because I think the Blu-ray might be a bit controversial, is okay. And I don't really want to go buying, I wouldn't buy it in full price, Total Recall, even though I went to picture to see it, and I did love it as well. Do you have any, Stand in Silence says, do you have any film-related tattoos? I haven't, actually, funny enough, because I think when I got my tattoos, and funny enough, when I do my video where I talk about what I've had, I've got a diary from 1986, and I'm going to talk about everything that I got out of the video library, because I wrote it all down in this diary. And it tells you that on the days when I got 2 of me tattoos that I've got in 1986. So I haven't got anything that's film related, unfortunately, but I would like to get some. I don't know if I'll get any more now. I think I'm done with that. Although I do toy with getting a full sleeve on, but I don't know. It's a lot of money for something that you think. I don't know if I like paying that much anyway. I think I'm done with paying. Standing Science says, and yes, that is a really bad name for a label. Yes, of course it is. It's like saying, I'm going to start a label off to do with boutique Blu-rays, and I'm going to charge a larger amount of money, and it's going to be called Crab Vomit Soup. Jason Brett. Hiya, Jason, all right. What is the most violent film in your collection? Well, funny enough, I talked about this not so long ago. There was a film called Yakuza Law, and it's from 1969, and it is ultra violent. I mean, you might think, all right, Japanese film, 1969, it's not that bad. But I tell you what, you'd be surprised. I was really surprised at how violent that film was. I think I've got a lot of other violent films. You know, you can get you've got Mondo films, which are like real life killings and stuff like that, like Trace of the Death 2, which I don't own, but I've seen. And it's that's obviously, well, real violence, so it's brutal. But I thought that was my phone going off there. Well, it was, but it's not. I thought it was my wife might be phoning actually. But violent film, I think that I'm going to say things like, of course, when you put in the spot, you don't think about. I mean, I do think that Last House on the Left has a certain amount of like nasty violence, which a lot of people don't like, quite rightly. And I don't like the remake of I Spit in Your Grave as well. I think that's unnecessarily like violent. I think the first one was enough. I don't think they needed to recreate that again, especially not in another, that's like down the line, like in years. I think that was done. I don't think we should need to revisit that again. So violent films, I would say Yakuza Law, off the top of my head, is probably, and you can get it in Arrow, it's just cheap as chips. And you'll be surprised at how absolutely really violent that is. But I think another one is it's got some really big elements of violence in is what's it called? Kill List as well. The things in that are pretty brutal as well. And I wasn't. It didn't really start off to be that way. But wow, did it take that turn when you see some violence with implements, shall we say? I'll not go too much into it. It's a great film, actually. It's a bit like a sort of. It's a kind of, imagine it's a bit like The Wicker Man with a Serbian film, but not a Serbian film, but it does go into a strange area. Phil Baker says, yeah, I've always wanted The Keep, but I will put you in touch with the guy in UK. He's sound. Yeah, brilliant. That's amazing, Phil. Thanks very much for that. There is a couple of titles I've been looking at. I've seen people opening up, and I thought that looks amazing. But I didn't know anything about how he actually went to get these things. So thanks, Phil. Great guy, Phil. I do really wish you would get a channel out, mate. I do really think your channel would just be phenomenal. Stephen Moore said that was a typo. Was meant to say DVDs and Blu-rays, lol. So I'll just go back to what he said originally, if I can. What's your opinion on online selling? Would be Blu-rays and DVDs for £200? Well, if I'm honest, if a film, say if you've got a film that was like what was like released and it's years and years ago, and it's become a desirable title, and say for instance it might have just not been re-released and it's stuck in limbo, fair enough that them prices do go up, and I don't imagine that's too much of a thing where you think, look, I'm gonna want this title, I will pay a large amount of money for it because I know how rare it is. But scalpers are a different story, because they get the stuff even before it's become this desirable object, and they've kind of bought a lot of them, and then they just sell them for £200 immediately. I don't think that's good at all. I think that's despicable, actually, and I think that's exploiting people that want this stuff in the collection. So if you pick one like that, I think that Zombie 5 there, say that was bought by all the scalpers because it needed to be. It was like highly limited, and then probably always it's going to come out in the standard division. But these people just went, right, I'm gonna actually just exploit someone immediately. I just think that's despicable, that, and I don't think that's something I think that's wrong. That's wrong. But if you've got something that's like a collector's item from years and years ago, then fair game. If it's people do know that they're going to have to pay for that, but you shouldn't have to pay for something even before it's been released. Tom 180 says Hard Target, Time Cop, and Sudden Death for me. Yes, yeah, Time Cop. That's I like that film. That's a brilliant film, actually. Hard Target as well. Sudden Death, I can't remember that one, but like I say, his early ones, yeah, I've got no problem with him. I think he's quite a decent action star, actually. Jason Brett, I picked up that clip on microphone you use. Thanks for the heads up. Yep. When I was looking on my channel, when I first wanted to do it, I thought, right, I'm going to have to get me audio correct. And I didn't want to be like in the room audio, which is, I'm actually in the room now. I don't know how the audio sounds. But I did know that a lot of people talked about this thing. And it was £15 when I got it from Amazon, but Jason's got his for about £10. And you just get this, you plug it in. Obviously, it doesn't work on a live stream. That's fair enough. And because I think on my live stream, we did have a little thing to say, we're going to use your whatever inbuilt microphone. That's fair enough. I could probably get it to look at this thing, but that may have been too complicated to do on that part. But yeah, so I just plug it in and just go, and I never get any problems with the microphones. Although I've had a lip sync problem with the latest video, which is a bit of a nightmare. I don't think it's got to do with the microphone. I think it's got to do with me software when I put it together, and I put the things into to render it, and it just, when you put the clip into it and hit Film Express, you can just tell in the box, you can see that's not right. I'm out of sync, which is a nightmare. Physical Media Madness. Hey, Physical Media Madness, how are you doing there? Glad for you to pop by. Euphoria Pictures. Are there any other YouTube channels out there that inspire you? Well, to be honest, yes, there's loads. I do look, well, I think I've talked about this with people in general, but say we'll use like Big Paulie as an example. That was one of the first ones when I saw Big Paulie talking about HMV going to be maybe go bankrupt, and they would have to sell off all their things and would maybe be shutting. And he was a video of him sitting in the car talking about it, and I thought, I was dead interested in what he was saying, because I was obviously thinking to myself at the time, oh God, is this going to happen? So then I got into his channel and I realized what other things he did. And so that inspired me to think that, wow, there's someone else out there. And obviously he's, that's when I sort of went into the likes of Jimmy Powell, Horan Todge. And those are the early ones that I remember in the UK. So I thought to myself, but yes, in a way they do inspire me. But the thing is with, like, say, with Big Paulie, Jimmy Powell, Horan Todge, they do everything in their way, and they do it to a brilliant level. Same with Keith from Euphoria Pictures, who's just commented this. He's got his great sort of way that he does it. So I feel like I'm inspired by them, yes, but I don't want to copy them. I don't think anybody should copy any channel, because what if you see Big Paulie's great at what he does, but you wouldn't want to watch a copy of Big Paulie. And I don't think there is one, and I like the fact of that. And so there's loads out there. There's absolutely millions, if I'm honest. And I think I can take a bit of every channel that I watch and follow, and I can take a little bit out of their book to say that's a really good way to do things. And obviously there's some things that come up. Movie Worm as well, Jordan. He's come up with a few ideas that he puts on now. Was do you mind if I say, use that format for a video? And everyone says, yeah, just do what you want, and that's great. If I make a video and someone says that's all right, can I copy it? I say, of course you can. So chances are I might have copied the idea of somebody else. I think it's good to copy ideas. Like what's your favorite? What's a little sort of things that people do, and the ideas behind the video, subject, should I say. But to copy their style is wrong. I think you should just be your own style, because I think when you're your own person on here, that's the best thing you can do, to be yourself. So enjoy it and be yourself, and everything else is a bonus, I do think. So Movie Database, Thoughts on modern horror films? What do you think of Sinister? That's high up there for me. Thanks for the question. Modern horror films, I would say I don't really care for that many of them. Although when I do like them, I do really like them. I do think that some of the ones that I've seen, Sinister is a great film. And I've said this before, but Sinister, which is, my son's got a collection in there and he's got it in his, although I think I bought it, but he's got it, or he bought it, I think. The young lad in Sinister, the tall sort of lad with the long hair, excuse me, he's in a band called the Lemon Twigs with his brother. And I've seen them live a couple of years ago and they were absolutely brilliant, man. What a character that this kid is. He's such a great musician as well as a performer. And it was brilliant. We really enjoyed it. And so, yeah, modern horror, some of them are great, but they've got to be done good. I don't want to see something that's like a blatant rip-off of something like, say, if you've got like a sort of possession film that's just been done now and it just blatantly rips The Exorcist off, what's the point? The Exorcist is a zenith of that. Great. I love that film. I don't want to watch some poor imitations of it. But saying that, though, I can sort of watch when Italian films, they did their blatant rip-offs at the same time as The Exorcist, like what's the Lisa and the Devil up there, which it's got another title. It's sort of like the more rip-off version of The Exorcist. I really like that. I really like them sort of crazy rip-off in the back in the day ones. But you'll find if you look through my horror collection, there's not that many new horror ones on here. I do like them. I do appreciate them, but I don't really rewatch them that much. And he also says, Movie Database, have you seen Ichi the Killer? No, I haven't actually, but I have heard a lot of good things about it. And it's on my big, massive to watch list, which is currently could be the length of this floor. It's in my phone, all these things that I wanna get. So yes, I haven't seen it, but I do really want to watch it. Grimseller says, how many films do you watch a day on average, John? Well, that's funny that, because sometimes I can watch a lot. I think my top for me is three films in a day. But there might be weeks where I might only watch 3 films in a week. I might even watch 1 film in a week. It just depends on work. If I've got work on and I work overnight, and when I come back in the morning, although I do sleep at work, I'm quite tired, but I will think there's no one in the house. I'll throw a video on, I'll throw a film on, I'll watch it, and 9 times out of 10 I'll be going cross-eyed before the end of the film. So it's a bit of a shame actually that I can't get through all of these titles that I want to, but I do try and get myself a good cup of coffee, but very strong. I love me strong coffee, espressos and that, and just give myself a bit of a coffee hit so I can just go, right, this is me watching this film. But sometimes I'll tail off. Like I watched Troll the other day and I fell asleep during it. That was because I'd been to work the previous day, but I really enjoyed it. But what a strange film that was. And Troll 1 is meant to be the good of the two, and it was really bad in a good way. So God knows what Troll 2 is going to be like, which is meant to be worse in a good way. So I'll just jump up there. So yeah, so it's funny, Grim, I would say on a good day, 3. Not very often that happens, but I'll say it's usually 1 every couple of days. And I've usually got 1 on the go. Even if I've had to stop it, I will be continuing that one on. And Troll is the one that I'm kind of watching at the moment. Jambo Shango and the Randy Moles Show. What a great title that is. I'm going to ask you here, Jambo, James, is that to do with the band The Residents? Because I know Randy Mole used to be, or is he the singer from The Residents, who no one knows he is? I've always wanted to ask you that. I think I asked Stephen from Lonely Tree Entertainment that question. He wasn't too sure on that. But yeah. So, but Jambo says, hate scalpers. Yeah. I mean, all right, if you've got, like I say, if you've got something that's like worth a bit of money and years after or whatever, and you've got it legitimately and people are after it, fair enough, then you sell it. And if you want to, and you're not interested in it. But the people who buy the scalpers are just the most absolutely the worst ever, because you know that they're just out there to just, well, scalp people. And I wouldn't mind if they said, we bought this for £20. I'm going to give you it for £40. Make 20 quid on it, and it's still a decent price. But if they say bought for 20 quid and they sell it to you for 500 quid, no, not a good one at all. Blu-ray Scott Wilson says, I heard Blood for Dracula coming out in 4K. I think maybe Severin released it. Would you buy it? Love, Wilson. You bet I would buy it. If I can, I think I've got it down here. Yes, I will. You know when you think something's there and you think, have I got it? Yes, I've got it. Shown you off before, but these are both coming out on 4K, actually, believe it or not. This is busy getting done, but this one here is apparently ready for release on it's 7. But wow, do I want these? I just want these in a good. These are all right, if I'm honest. What I've got in this one is, believe it or not, I'll show you. I've got there Flesh for Frankenstein 3D, which I tape off the TV and then put on the disc. Believe it or not, the last. I would love them to put. I think the last 15 minutes or 20 minutes are in 3D on here. I would love them to do that on this, but some of the dialogue in these ones, I have never ever in my life seen dialogue like this. And the people are doing it, they're doing it for real, as if it's like, good dialogue. But oh wow, but yes, I am so that their first day. I would love to think they would do them properly though. I'd hate them to do like 4K, which look quite like a Blu-ray. I would love them to pull out all the stops in it because they have been neglected for a long time. Although they've been out in Blu-ray, but I heard the Blu-rays are quite poor. Stand in Silence says, Hard Target is hilarious. Yeah, I think there's a lot of Van Damme things that are like unintentionally funny, and you think, wow, what was he thinking of? When he's nobody's like that and all this, but yeah, hilarious would be a lot of them. 80s horror action films are hilarious, and you get a big laugh out of them. I think there's a one I've got down there with Gary Busey's in it, and it's a 4-pack, and it was with Exterminator 2 and this other one that he did. I think absolutely ridiculous, but he probably thought it was a great film at the time. Jason Brett, I pre-ordered Akira Kurosawa's Ran on 4K, being released by Studio Canal on the Vintage Classics line. Looks like it's a similar release as the Elephant Man. Yeah, I've seen it as well, and I do think that would look spectacular because Ran, I've heard, is one of the best looking Blu-rays you can get. To look visually, it's just meant to be the best. The cinematography is just meant to be just crazy good. So for me, yes, that's I'm very interested in that one as well. Alex's Movie Corner is here. Hello, Alex. You all right? Good afternoon, John. Going for an 8-hour stream today? Well, no, sadly not. Although I've got it plugged in at the wall, so my battery's okay. No, not today, Alex. Thanks for joining. I did kind of the 2 live streams I've done for 8 hours. I did think they were great. I didn't mind them at all, and I did think that it didn't seem like 8 hours, but wow, the couple of days after that, they do sort you out. And it's so no, it's not an 8 hour. I was going to just be an hour. I know I'm an hour and 8 minutes. I know my son will be coming in soon, so I might have to just give it a bit more, about 10 more minutes. I'm up with the questions here at the moment, so I would like to think that I could probably get through all of the questions, which I'm really pleased. I'm glad I got some questions as well. You just never know how this is going to go, do you? But so pleased that people are watching anyway. But not today. That's the thing with this live stream on YouTube. I don't know if you can how long. I don't think has it got an end point? And StreamYard, if you don't buy it, you've got to kind of knock it on the head after a certain length of time unless you pay for it. I don't know if that's a thing on this live stream at all, how long you can go for. Movie Collector, John. Greetings from sunny Cornwall, John. Well, hello, John. You're all right. And it's sunny Whitley Bay here as well. In fact, it's really sunny. I got a blasting the other day when I was fixing that container up in the garden. Not kidding, honestly, it was you could fry an egg on me head. Although I didn't expect it to, because I thought that would be a 5-minute job. It certainly wasn't. I'm working on the review of the 4K of Apocalypse Now today, which will probably take a couple of days. Why not tell everyone what we're collaborating on, John. Yes. Movie Collector John, his channel is absolutely brilliant. It's exploded. And I mean, you say, people's channels are growing. This one is just unreal. Now, the reason why it's exploded because John's channel is just so good. I remember looking the first time when I was putting my review of Jaws on way back when. I was looking for reviews on Jaws in essence, so I went and saw John's his review, and I looked at it and I thought, wow, that's absolutely brilliant. That's one of the best things I've ever seen. So I've been a big fan of his channel. So anyway, John asked me if I would like to do a sort of a collaboration with him and Leon about Apocalypse Now, to get the 4K, to look at the 4K and to sort of say about what my views was on the 4K of Apocalypse Now, which I watched the other day. Thought it was absolutely brilliant. So we are working on a thing together, Leon, John, and myself, and we will be putting out our 3 reviews, I think at the same time, actually, how we're going to work it out. And then it's going to be kind of, you can look at the 3 reviews of Apocalypse Now. I think it's a one I've been talking about for a while, to sort of have like a simultaneous release of reviews. And John picked Apocalypse Now, which is one of his favorite films, and I've got to admit, this time around I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. Actually, the picture quality is just stunning. It's reference quality. If you're thinking of a good want to like show off your 4K system, especially the sound on it, get yourself Apocalypse Now. It's absolutely amazing. So yes, so that'll be coming out. Well, it'll be next week for that one. That'll be brilliant. So yeah, please head over to John's channel. It's absolutely brilliant. Movie Database says, so much rubbish modern horror, but I guess that it's the case for all eras. Do you rate Nightmare on Elm Street? I think a splash of humor can work in horrors. Your thoughts? Yeah, I agree. Just tripping over my mic there. This. I'll take it off, but I've got to take my top off, and you don't want to see that. So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, I think it's a great film. I've got the box set over there, and I do need to get through and watch, because I think I watched 1 quite a bit, and I was a big fan of Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and 3. Excuse me. And but I can't remember the other ones, and I haven't watched the remake. I don't really want to watch the remake, actually. And but yeah, I think there's a lot of films that I've got in there that I do love the sort of comedic element to it, like American Werewolf in London, and they've got in Fright Night. They've got these things where they've got some great gore in it and some great horror and some great shocks in it. But you've got that little bit of scream. You've got that bit of humor that runs through it, which I think is essential, actually, because sometimes some horror movies, I mean, The Exorcist doesn't need horror, doesn't need humor in it, which is, would never have a humor side of it, which you wouldn't want in there. But some movies are a bit too serious for their own good, if you know what I mean. But yeah, humor, definitely. Grim Cellar, thanks for answering. It does make it tough. It does make it tough to get through all of these great discs. Good luck with Troll 2. Have not got around to trying that one yet. Well, I do know it's going to be bad. I don't mind that. I like to be amused by movies that are like so awful that you think, right, this is going to be so enjoyable for that reason. But yeah, I mean, Troll itself, it's really bad. That's the only way I can describe it. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. And obviously the guy from Neverending Story's in it as well, which I don't think I've ever seen him in any other film apart from Neverending Story. So that's funny in itself. And it's also got I think it's called Julianne Dreyfus from Veep. She's in it, and she's so young. It's unreal. And it's just, I think the premise of it is just this troll comes with his ring, and when he touches somebody, he can become that person, or he can become his spirit, his sort of, he goes into there and think, that's going to be, he's now the sort of, the person, this young girl, she acts like a troll. So it's quite good, but odd. Yeah. So that'll be good. I think that, if I'm honest, these So Bad They're Good movies, there's a lot of them in here that people say, what you got that for? It's rubbish. I say, yeah, but it's rubbish and it's good. If I can watch a film and I'm getting some enjoyment out of it, I don't care what it is, as long as I enjoy it and it's a good film to me. even when some people say that's absolutely ridiculous. And I say, yeah. Grimseller at Blu-ray Scott. There's also someone working on it this side of the pond. Tetro Video. Never heard of them actually. Don't know if it's from the same source or what they will be, or what will be interesting to see how they compare. Yeah, to me, the fact that somebody's actually gonna do something with these two films, Blood, the Dracula and the Frankenstein, the Andy Warhol ones, is amazing itself. And to be honest, these Criterions here, which were probably the best at the time, they're not great now. I know they're just like the DVD copy. They're not anamorphic or nothing like that. They've got some extras in here, and so it does say in the back of here. It says about the transfer. I'll use Flesh for Frankenstein as a for instance. In fact, I'm going to have to put my glasses on for these. Yep. Oh, that's what everyone looks like. Flesh for Frankenstein, about the transfer. It's presented in the original theatrical aspect ratio of 2:3:5:1. This new digital transfer was created from a 35mm into negative. The sound was mastered from an optical soundtrack negative. In some theaters, Flesh for Frankenstein was presented in Space Vision 3D. For the practical purposes of home theater viewing, the director has chosen not to utilize the 3D system. And he's got a telescene colorist and also a telescene supervisor is Paul Morrissey, the director/writer. Wow. So I think I was talking to someone the other day about the fact that these two just not being about, and maybe Paul Morrissey doesn't want them to come out. Well, obviously, has he got anything to do with these other ones as well? He may as well do, because I don't think he's done anything else of merit. So Phil says Blood for Dracula is Severin Films. Yeah, that's what I've heard there. I do think that these films, to be honest, I know that it might be like a US, but maybe there's a lot of people out there who don't actually know about these films and don't know how good these films are. I mean, they're not good, they're bad. But they're bad, but they're just so brilliant. And you've got to see them to believe them, how absolutely shockingly bad they are. But so the reason why I got that, I did tape that after, and if you do put your them sort of daft little specs you used to get for the 3D, if you do put them on, it does work. And it was shown on Channel 4 Summit as for whatever reason. I think it was a 3D season they were having on there once, and the fact that was put on, and I thought, well, I've got to take that. I might watch it again just to see what it was all about. Yeah. So, but this honestly, this one of my favorite bits in this is because is it this one? Yeah. So Otto is Dr. Frankenstein's henchman. And Dr. Frankenstein and Otto have these meaningful conversations about, what they're going to do in this for these people they're going to create. And I think they're going to get the bodies of, going to try and find the bodies from a bordello, and the people will go into the bordello. And so I think Otto says to him, and they've got heavy accents as well, Udo Kier, and I think. What's the fella called as well who was in this? He was absolutely brilliant. Anton Ziernin or something like that, I think he's called. And he says, do you think when we've been to do you think we can go into this bordello? And he says, the bordello? To do what, you filthy thing? And I don't know, it's what's the other one when this guy here, Joe D'Alessandro, goes into this field with where he's plowing the fields with this other guy who's got a really heavy accent from Europe, and he goes from the Bronx, from New York, and he walks up to him and he says his line is, and I don't know why he leaves this massive gap in the line. He says, "So, are you still thinking of becoming a monk?" So yeah, but anyway, getting off thingy, but if you can, when these come out properly, do watch them if they're at a sensible price. You'll be amazed. Movie Database says, I blind bought an Australian release called Road to Wormwood. Haven't checked it out yet. Have you heard of it? Yes, I've got it down there somewhere. and it's just over there, I think. Yes, I haven't got it, but it's supposed to be like a sort of Mad Max vampire or Mad Max zombie thing, which I think looks quite entertaining, and I do want to try and get it to watch it. But the thing is, I haven't watched it yet, but I do want to watch it, and I do think that it would be quite a good film. The Dutch film buff says, "Are those the Warhol movies starring Udo Kier? They're not bad." Smiley face. Well, yes, that's the ones. Udo Kier. There he is. Doing his Dracula impersonation, the Count, who's he has a vegetarian diet. He can't eat meat, they say, when he goes to stay at this place. And when he's going to this mansion, and he says he's a vegetarian, because can't speak about the language. He's a vegetarian. You've got to prepare a special vegetarian meal for him. Wow. Yes, that's correct. Dutch film buff. So anyway, I think I'm gonna go to 1 hour 30 minutes. This has been great. Actually, I've really enjoyed this, and I hope everybody else has had a fun time with it. I do plan to do this. I don't know. I'm not going to have a proper day. I'm not going to go on a certain day. It's just going to be around about my. I think that's my son there. This is going to go around about my shifts at work. So some days I might be off during the day. So it'll probably be during the day, maybe in the morning or just in the afternoon, early afternoon. I don't think I'll go in the evening time at this point, but I've enjoyed this, if I'm honest. And I just want to say that I do appreciate everyone who's come to this channel, to this stream. And Jason has just put there, this has been a great stream, John. Just want to say thanks for all the support you've shown my channel. No problem, Jason, because I first went to Jason's channel on the back of a review he did of the film Mothra, the Eureka film, the box set, this beautiful box set. And I thought, right, I'm gonna have to check that. I mean, I think I bought it. I was in the process of buying it, and when I saw his thing that talking about the kaiju in general, I thought I'm gonna get involved with his channel, and it's great. Always have a great time with his channel. Obviously, we talk quite a lot. We do the thing together, the Monsters on the Loose, which we've done the first 2 episodes. And this one was just like talking about what we plan to do. Second one was the first proper film we'd had, Gremlins. And the next one is Godzilla, which we haven't filmed yet, but I'm looking forward to doing that, because we're big Godzilla fans, and who isn't? So Chris Mohan, hello Chris, are you all right? Hi John, just caught the very end of this, but I thought I'd say hi. I'll catch you on the replay, buddy. Hope you're well. Yes, I'm great. Actually, I've had a great time here. It's not going to be 8 hours, unfortunately, for, well, I don't know who I'll say unfortunately for. And just want to say thanks for anybody who's entered into this chat. And yeah, so yeah, thanks Chris, that's brilliant. So I'm going to be wrapping it up here now, actually, because like I say, my son's in there, maybe going out for his thing soon, his injection. I'm going to start the taxi business. Stephen Moore put, great live stream. Look forward to tune in again. Thanks. No problem. There will be a next live stream. What I'll try and do is I'll try and maybe put a bit of a heads up on this to say, coming in whenever on the community tab to say this will happen, so we may get more of a chance to do it. But it's probably going to be a daytime stream. It'll probably be at the most 2 hours, not any longer than that. And maybe I might get some guests on here. I don't know. So I don't know much about how it works to do that. But just really pleased that people have turned up. So Stand in Silence, Joe D'Alessandro, or whatever his name is. That's right, actually. His acting was pretty hilariously bad in The Climate. Yes, I can believe that, because his acting in there is awful. He can't act to save his life. He was just in there because these are people who just hung around with Andy Warhol. And it's just his mates, and you can really tell that these people don't have any acting skills whatsoever. The Dutch film buff by all, yeah, Jason Brett. Have a good weekend, John. No problem, Jason. So I'm going to end it there. So thanks very much for tuning in. Do really appreciate that for my first live stream. I found that it was just really good. Throat's starting to go a little bit. and obviously I've got my hay fever thing going at this minute, which is crazy, but this is why I'm getting a bit hoarse. So thanks again, thanks for watching, and you take care, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. And don't forget, about 6 o'clock, I'm going to get that the subscriber mail from Keith from Euphoria Pictures to Steve B. Says bye. I don't know if that's my pal Steve from that might be my mate. So I think it's him, and my mate is my band member. Pretty sure that's him. Yeah. Stan sounds cool. Try and announce the next stream a few hours or better, even a date. Yes, I will. I'll try and give people more of a heads up. This was I've probably done this like really close to when it was, because if it all went wrong, then people wouldn't really see it, and it would be a bit kind of put to one side and say, well, that wasn't very good. But I think, yes, I'll definitely do that. I think the first one's a little bit nervous to see what it's all about. So yeah, so okay, you take care, and don't forget to watch that the Keith's unboxing, which is going to be 6 o'clock. I'm going to say it down below, it's not about 6 o'clock at night. Okay, so take care, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks very much now. Cheers.